Amaka was a young woman who lived in a peaceful village with her widowed mother. She was hardworking, humble, respectful, and always willing to help others. Every morning she woke before sunrise to fetch water, sweep the compound, and arrange vegetables in her small market stall. Although she had a beautiful heart, people never appreciated her because of her appearance. Her face was covered with scars, her skin was rough, and many believed she was too ugly to deserve love. Whenever she walked through the market, children laughed at her, women mocked her behind her back, and young men ignored her while chasing after beautiful ladies. Every wedding she attended broke her heart because she dreamed of finding true love someday. Many nights she cried herself to sleep, asking God why everyone rejected her because of the way she looked. One evening, after closing her shop, Amaka sat beneath a large mango tree crying uncontrollably. She was tired of being rejected and wished she could become beautiful like every other woman in the village. As she cried, an elderly woman slowly approached her and asked why she looked so sad. Amaka told her everything: the insults, the rejection, the loneliness, and her fear that no man would ever marry her. The old woman looked around to make sure no one was listening before whispering that there was a powerful native doctor living deep inside a forbidden forest. She claimed he could make any woman unbelievably beautiful, but warned that his powers came with a terrible price. Blinded by desperation, Amaka ignored the warning and decided to visit him the following night. The following night, Amaka secretly left her house without telling anyone. She walked for hours into a thick forest where strange sounds echoed through the trees. Every step filled her heart with fear, but the desire to become beautiful was stronger than her fear. After a long journey, she finally arrived at an ancient shrine hidden deep inside the forest. Smoke filled the air, candles burned without wind, and mysterious symbols covered the walls. Sitting at the center of the shrine was an old native doctor who looked at her as if he had been expecting her. The native doctor listened carefully as Amaka explained her desire to become beautiful. He smiled and told her that he could make her the most beautiful woman in the country, but every gift from the spirit world required a sacrifice. He explained that a dark spirit would live inside her beauty. The more men she seduced into immorality, the more beautiful she would become. Every man who fell into her trap would strengthen the spirit's power. If she ever stopped or entered a place where the spirit could not remain, all her beauty would disappear instantly. Amaka knew it was wrong, but her pain and desperation clouded her judgment. She accepted the covenant. The native doctor began chanting strange words while pouring dark liquid over sacred objects. Thick black smoke surrounded Amaka as powerful winds filled the shrine. She felt weak and collapsed to the ground. Mysterious lights circled around her body until everything became silent. When the ritual was complete, the native doctor smiled because the covenant had been sealed. The next morning, Amaka woke up feeling different. She slowly walked to the mirror hanging on the wall of her small room. As soon as she looked at her reflection, she froze in disbelief. The scars that had covered her face were completely gone. Her skin became smooth and radiant, her eyes sparkled like diamonds, and her hair became long, silky, and beautiful. She could hardly recognize herself. When she stepped outside, the same villagers who had mocked her the previous day stopped what they were doing and stared at her in amazement. The women whispered in shock, while the young men competed just to greet her. Some even asked for her hand in marriage. Amaka smiled proudly, believing her suffering was finally over. As the days passed, Amaka remembered the native doctor's warning. She realized that every time she lured another man into immorality, her beauty became even more captivating. Instead of searching for true love, she decided to use her beauty to become rich. Wealthy businessmen, politicians, celebrities, and married men traveled from different cities just to see her. She demanded expensive gifts before giving them her attention. She collected luxury cars, designer clothes, expensive jewelry, houses, and huge amounts of money. Before long, she became one of the richest women in the city. As Amaka continued living her luxurious lifestyle, many families began to suffer. Husbands lied to their wives, abandoned their children, and spent their family savings trying to please her. Some marriages ended in divorce, while others became filled with constant arguments, tears, and heartbreak. Amaka knew what was happening, but she no longer cared. The more lives that were ruined, the more beautiful and powerful she became. Her heart slowly grew cold, and she believed no man could ever resist her. One evening, while Amaka was relaxing in her mansion, one of her close friends told her about a respected pastor who was known for his holiness and unwavering faith in God. The friend said no scandal had ever been associated with him, and that many people admired his integrity. Amaka laughed confidently and declared that every man had a weakness. She boldly announced that she would make the pastor fall just like every other man. Determined to prove herself, she prepared to visit his church the following Sunday. On Sunday morning, Amaka dressed more beautifully than ever before. She wore her finest clothes, expensive perfume, sparkling jewelry, and elegant makeup. As she confidently walked toward the church entrance, everyone admired her beauty. However, the moment she stepped inside the church compound, she suddenly felt a strange weakness. Her heart began to race, and she struggled to breathe. She quickly rushed to the church restroom to check herself. Standing before the restroom mirror, Amaka watched in horror as her flawless beauty disappeared. Her glowing skin became rough again, the scars returned to her face, and her long, silky hair returned to its former appearance. Within moments, she looked exactly as she had before visiting the native doctor. Terrified, she screamed and burst into tears. The dark power that had given her beauty could not remain where God's presence was being worshipped. Hearing her cries, the pastor gently approached her and asked what had happened. Unable to hide the truth any longer, Amaka fell to her knees and confessed everything. She spoke about her pain, her visit to the native doctor, the evil covenant, the lives she had destroyed, and the wealth she had gained through deception. The pastor listened patiently before telling her that no power of darkness could offer lasting peace. He explained that true beauty comes from a transformed heart and a life surrendered to God. Amaka sincerely repented and turned away from her old life. She abandoned the dishonest wealth she had gained and chose to live an honest life. Although she never regained the supernatural beauty she once had, she found something far more valuable: peace, forgiveness, and a new purpose. People who once mocked her began to respect her because of her humility and kindness. She spent her days helping others and encouraging young women never to trade their dignity for temporary gain. In time, Amaka realized that the most beautiful person is not the one with the fairest face, but the one with a pure heart.